Hello, welcome back. The topic today is why urinary tract infection is very common in women. Because most of the women visitors always ask, I used to get repeated urinary tract infection, why? And always they give a history, I used the toilet in an airport or maybe a restaurant, I went to my in-laws place, from that only I got repeated urinary tract infection. This is history they always give. But this is not true generally. It can happen, but theoretically it's not possible because from the toilet the bacteria cannot jump and then why women have a very frequent urinary tract infection? Not only women, any child, any female child born from the day one, they are prone for urinary tract infection just because of one reason: their body shape or the anatomy. The anatomy wise, see the urethra, the outlet of the urine is very close to the anus where the motion comes out. So infection can easily travel to the urethra. So this is the first thing. Second thing, the urethra, there is a thing, the structure that delivers the urine from the bladder. Usually is very short in women. It's only 4 centimeters generally. And a male, it's different. It could be at least 20 centimeters. But here, only 4 centimeters. So the bacteria can easily travel up to the urinary bladder, causing bladder infection. Okay. So the anatomy cannot be changed. So these are unmodifiable factors in a woman. This is the first and foremost reason for repeated urinary tract infection. Okay. What are the other causes for urinary tract infection? Women generally, they try to avoid passing urine in outside, in a private public places because going to even the toilet may be clean, may be good, but that change the dress, all these things is a very tedious process. So they generally avoid passing urine in outside. It starts from when they are very young, especially the school time itself. So that's why before leaving to the school, they pass urine. They go to the school, finish the school, come back home, then they pass urine. Because the toilet in the school may not be that good, so they tend to avoid, for all practical purposes, they tend to avoid. They hold the urine for longer time. So the longer, time of urine storage can, promote bacterial growth and causing urinary tract infection. So this is one of the one. The other reasons, using too much of soap and water. Every time they pass urine, they keep washing it with soap and water. Soap and water not only kills the bad bacteria, also kills the good bacteria. There are good bacteria in our body, especially in the private parts area. These bacteria keep the infection under check. But if these bacteria are killed by repeated use of soap and water, then the urinary tract infection can happen because that soap and water makes that area dry also. So the dry skin vulnerable for infection and trauma. So, okay. The other reasons, especially nowadays, I can see very young girls using, commercially available wash, vaginal private parts wash, vaginal wash. These commercially available washes, they kill again the natural flora or the good bacteria. So again, you're prone for. So don't ever use vaginal wash. Even for after passing generally what we say is use soap and water at least once or twice a day. That's it. See, morning when you take bath, you wash your private parts of the area with soap and water. Fine. After that, maybe suppose you pass motion, definitely you have to use soap and water. After other times, when you pass only urine, never use soap and water, or anytime don't use vaginal wash. Okay. And now with the Western toilet, or the problem is. They have to clean, especially after passing motion. They have to wipe it, or they have to clean with water, from the stroke, from the front approach. So the front approach, the strokes, whatever the strokes can bring the bacteria from the anus to the urethra. That is why if you take urinary tract infection, if you do the culture, most of the commonest organism is e.coli, or the Escherichia coli, or the e.coli. E.coli is very common in the gut, in the intestine. So that itself shows that most of the infections in women are from the gut, from the anus, not from outside. So that is why we always say from outside it's almost nil, but it's mostly from the gut. So when the Western toilet, so when we wash for the after the motion, preferably to do not from the front stroke, from the front, preferably to wash from the back. Those days is in the Indian toilet, people used to do that from the back. So in that way, whatever the stroke you make, the motion cannot come front to the urethra or vagina part. But with the Western toilet, it happens. So try to avoid, or if you have to use the Western toilet, then make the stroke in one way, front to back. So that is how it should be. Okay. The other reasons, and nowadays with in the name of hygiene or in the name of fancy thing, most of the people, most of the young girls, they shave the hair in the private parts, or they wax it. So the waxing and shaving, each time they cause microscopic aberrations, small cuts. So they cause infection. So the bacteria can grow in the cuts and that can cause urinary tract infection. In fact, the private parts hair is protective even against the sexually transmitted diseases. So this is very important. So okay, then other causes, like suppose somebody is diabetic. Most of the time diabetes is diagnosed by seeing the urine culture only. So diabetes, your immunity goes down. So again, the bacteria can flourish and can cause urinary tract infection, especially uncontrolled diabetes. Then very important in women, we have made so many videos on anemia. So women with anemia, their immunity is very low, so they don't have any. The immune system is so low to fight against the bad bacteria. So anemia can cause repeated urinary tract infection. And obesity is very important nowadays. Everybody is obese. Because of the obesity, these the private parts, or they get the hygiene in the private parts is compromised and causing urinary tract infection. Okay, so usually everybody knows urinary tract infection. They can have burning micturition, burning urination, repeated urination, passing small quantities of urination. Back pain, severe back pain could be because of urinary tract infection. These are the signs and symptoms. And sometimes the infection can come from the uterus area. So the infection in the uterus, cervix, the os, we call that the entry point of the uterus. If suppose there is an infection for some reason, they can cause easy infection into that. So it's always better. Suppose you have these repeated urinary tract infections, visit a doctor, they will examine you, they may ask for some tests like to do diabetes, hypertension, anemia, and examination of the uterus area. These things can point out for the repeated reasons for urinary tract infection. Okay, how to prevent repeated urinary tract infection? This is a big question, and everybody should know, especially if you have a girl child. Teach your child first try to pass urine as much as possible. Frequent urination. Take a lot of water, frequent urination. See, when the water is flowing, nothing can hold up, So when they have frequent urination, the bacteria will be washed out. So that is the best and simplest way of avoiding repeated urinary tract infection. Drink a lot of water, pass urine frequently. Number one, don't hold up your urine. Don't, holding a urine makes the bacteria to flourish. So avoid holding the urine. Number three, avoid using soap and water repeatedly to wash your private parts. Only once or twice, especially when you're doing a bath and after passing motion, you can use soap and water. All other times, use only plain water to wash if you have a repeated infection. And commercially available, all hygiene products in the private parts should be avoided, especially vaginal wash, betadine, or whatever you call that, anything that says women with UTI, commercial things, avoid all those things. The better you ask your doctor. And avoid waxing and shaving the private parts. They can cause micro abrasions leading to infection. And of course, check with a doctor, consult your doctor. So most of the people ask, after my marriage I have a severe urinary tract infection. It is very natural. After any sexual intercourse, or even the chance of infection is very high. The reason being friction, the new environment, hormonal changes, all these things can cause. But that is not a big reason. But to avoid repeated things, avoid using soap and water repeatedly or the commercially available. Take plenty of water and consult your doctor for a good result. Thank you.